In local news today, jury selection was completed today on the so-called treason trial of Dickel F. Lockett. Mr. F. Lockett is being sued by his longtime friend, Buzz 1151, for conspiracy, anarchy, and treason. Mr. F. Lockett vigorously insisted on a jury of his peers, and Judge Mahoney agreed.
Hear ye, hear ye. The court is now in session.
Mr. F. Lockett, how do you plead?
Your Honor, I plead 100% not guilty.
Mr. Buzz 1151, you are acting as your own attorney, I believe.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you, Mr. F. Lockett?
Yes, Your Honor. I will also be my own lawyer.
Okay, are you ready for your opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. First, I want to state that this whole thing is ridiculous. How can I be on trial for treason? Look at me, Judge. Do I look like a traitor? I'm just a simple gnome, living a simple, clean life. Never in trouble. These allegations are false. This is just a witch hunt. Your Honor, I petition the court to dismiss this case immediately and forthwith.
I object, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Now what?
So I guess we'll just continue with this repair on this radio here. When last I left you, I repaired the crack on one side and that side. Added the screen here. So now I can put some Bondo on here and make up for that missing piece. And I'm going to use a regular Bondo body filler.
Today we're doing some Bondo work.
This works the same as the other. It uses a hardener.
Viagra has a little brother.
I think I got enough hardener left. I always use up all the hardener before this. Maybe I can use the hardener out of the other one. I don't have enough here, but let's get some mixed here.
Alright, Dan.
And this stuff's old too. It's probably over 3 years old. I don't know what the shelf life is on these things, but
It must be pretty rotten by now.
there it is. In fact, it's I think it needs to be stirred.
I say go, go! I say mix!
A little bit of juice
I'll have an orange juice.
on it.
Something bad is gonna happen.
Got that crappy smell.
You smell something?
Alright, I'm gonna just start out with this much. I'm gonna knead this like the other one. A lot of air in there.
I need you. Badly.
There's hardly anything in there. Let's just try that. I'm gonna add some more if I can get any more out of here.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
You got about 5 minutes to work with this before it starts to get too hard. Already got myself all messed up here. Alright, we're gonna do this here. We're just gonna add some like that. You want to build this up a little bit.
You're soft, you're sloppy, you're unruly, you're undisciplined.
Don't worry about all the excess there. It sands off real easy. I can clean this mess up here. Now I'm gonna go with the other side. Just try to force some into that small little hairline crack there. It's already getting hard. You see, you put too much hardener in there, that's what happens.
I told you so.
I didn't think I had enough, but I actually had too much. I'll have to mix some more up, but what I think I'll do is I'll wait till this dries, I'll sand this and see where I am from there. And look at that, it's already hard. Alright, next will be sanding. Now I'm going to take some 320
Ladies and gentlemen, now the moment you've all been waiting for.
sandpaper and wet sand it.
All right, let's get down to business.
At this point you got to be really careful because you don't want to take off too much.
What are you trying to do?
I like to use my fingers to feel, see if it's smooth. Not quite done right here. In fact, I'm going to change over to some 600 grit right down here. Sort of feather it in there.
Easy does it.
That's pretty good. I'm just going to mix a small batch here and do some fine work.
I've had enough stimulation for one day.
Right about here. That's the big crack. And here's the one with the missing piece. I think I'll just stick a little there. And you got real tiny cracks like that. It's very hard to do. A lot of times once we get the paint on there, we can put a little thicker portion so it runs into the crack and fills up. But this is the other side. Looks halfway decent. We'll see how it looks when I put the first coat of a primer on it. After I get this done, we'll go ahead and put a little paint on and see what it looks like. Okay, it's ready for paint. I'm going to use some flat black primer. I'm going to experiment here. and try to leave the bottom portion just Bakelite and just paint this part that's unmasked. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's let me try it.
And I thought this was gonna be a dull day.
Sort of disappears, doesn't it? I'm going to let that dry and continue painting that area. And what happens is, if there's any lines showing, I'm going to sand it, paint it again, sand it until there's no lines left. Then I can paint the rest of it. Damn, I must have did a great job or what? I don't even see any lines on there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is the side with the missing piece. Boy, I thought I did a crappy job, but I can't even see the hairline crack in there. Good job, Buzz. I'm going to continue to paint it. I'm not going to put too much primer on it then, since it's so good. And then I'm going to have to pick up some satin black. I don't want any gloss on here. Once I get the satin on there, you can get some of the flit polish, and it shines it up pretty good. Hopefully I can match that with the regular Bakelite here. That's still a mystery. I don't know if that's going to work or not. So let me get the rest painted.
And this is perhaps his masterpiece.
Welcome everybody to another edition of Experimenting with Buzz. You're looking at some bones here. You're probably saying, what the hell is that Buzz up to now? Let me tell you something here. I got these from John from Arkansas's brother-in-law. You all know him. His name is Porkchop Spinelli. He played that fake Saudi Arabian guy in the costume. He did all that for John, and John never even paid him. Well, it turns out he's a fan of my videos. And he said, you know, I love pork chops. And that's how he got his name, Pork Chop, because he eats pork chops all the time. He even eats them for breakfast, I hear. And so he says, I'm going to send you some pork chop bones. And he dared me. He dared me to make some screwdrivers out of these, because he saw how I made those screwdrivers out of the stylus and those knitting needles. And he says, I bet you $50, which is the $50 he never got from John, because he never paid him. He said, I'll bet you that $50 that you can't make screwdrivers out of these pork chop bones. And I said, well, I'll take that bet, because John just might pay you one day, and I could use that $50.
I'm real hungry.
So, what I did here is I baked these bones in the oven, because they were kind of gooey. Gooey. I don't think that Pork Chop took all the meat off these bones. Maybe he wears false teeth and he couldn't get to them.
It's true. Very true.
This one looks like a good specimen here. All I need to do is sand this down, and then I could use it like that.
Home cooking in a bag. Pork chops and gravy. Pork chops and gravy. Pork chops and gravy. I want a pork chop Charlie with some cornbread. Pork chops and gravy. Pork chops and gravy. Pork chops and gravy. I want a pork chop Charlie with some cornbread. Fried chicken and lima beans, baby, that will do. But if you get a pork chop Charlie, you'll be in the groove. Yeah, pork chops and gravy. Pork chops and gravy. a pork chops and gravy. I want that pork chop a jolly with some cornbread. A pork chops and gravy, a pork chops and gravy. I want that pork chop a jolly with some cornbread.
Well, wouldn't you know it? While I was outside sanding that bone, I left the 2 other bones here on the table unprotected. Peanut came along and grabbed those bones. But it turns out I didn't need them. So I've got my screwdriver here. Now, he didn't say I had to make more than one, so here it is.
Oh, brother.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And it even works on the bottom.
My toe bone's connected to my foot bone. My foot bone's connected to my heel bone. My heel bone's connected to my ankle bone. That's how they connected those dry bones.
Okay, pork chop, you owe me $50.
Crap.
Okay, I changed my mind. I'm going to use semi-gloss after all.
Oh, brother.
Alright, so here it goes. First coat of semi-gloss on here.
These things must be done delicately.
Well, there it is. Don't look too bad. I'm going to continue to paint. In between, I'm going to wet sand. Okay, there it is after a couple coats. This is going to require a few more because our main enemy when you do this is what you call orange peel. That's that dimpled surface that looks just like a skin of an orange.
I'll have an orange juice.
And the only way to get rid of that is through sanding.
Your Excellency, I'm sorry, but this excitement's too much for me.
I've got a 1500 piece of sandpaper here that I'm going to use. And I'm not going to do this on camera. I'm just going to show you basically what you have to do.
I feel faint.
You can see it a lot better there when you just sand.
Wow!
You don't want that showing unless you're not picky. In that case, you just leave it the way it is. But if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. It's going to have a smooth finish or it goes into the dumpster. That's the way I think. So this has all got to be taken off, and it's easily done with sandpaper. And after that's done, you paint it again, maybe 1 or 2 coats, sand it again. After I do that 3 or 4 times, that last coat is still going to have orange peel on it from your last application. So what I like to do is, for the last coat, I put it on real thick, and that gives me plenty of paint to sand it down so it's smooth. Now you don't want to get over aggressive and just keep sanding this until you go through the finish here and back to the primer. That sucks. It's tedious work, but we'll go into that in the next episode. I will try to do my best on this. It's best to let this dry after each coat, at least a day. I wanted to say something before the end of the video here. I'll probably take a couple weeks off because I've got some stuff to do. The next video you're going to see is going to be the start of a new series. I'm going to do this restore and the other new project simultaneously, and I may even start a third. So I'll have 3 projects going so I can rotate them. That gives me time to reflect and order parts for one, troubleshoot one while I do another one. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just going to try it. So the next project you see is going to blow your socks off. So don't miss it. Probably in 2 weeks. So, hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, this is Buzz. Have a good one, will you?
Now it's time for a word from our sponsor.